let me start recording. So I will share this recording if you want. Okay. But
Yes.
so this topic is a administration topic, and previously we already I said it's a mirroring we already started. Okay. So basically today I started this class for 9:30 morning. So
Okay.
what is your relation with a login and user? Let me show you because same thing I explained to them. So I have draw IO, I created something. So let me show you and so that we can start understanding. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So in this like a diagram, let me minimize so that you can see high level. So basically here you can see left side, junior DB, senior DB, developer, reporter, manager. All these are user. Okay. So let's suppose
Hmm.
they are joining your company and they will start whatever designation I mentioned. Okay. So junior DBA, basically we have to share something related to monitoring, like how they can check if any job is running fine or not. So which rights you have to provide first. So these type of user we have. So basically, if you want to add access to a specific user or a specific designation, first you need to create a login. Okay. And login basically, SQL login basically is storing into the master database. Master database. So we have a system database and login, we can say, is stored by the master database generally. But
Okay.
run SQL login label, you can provide some server rule basically. Whatever rule I mentioned here. So these are rule, but complete, you can say log detail or you can say complete server role I will explain to you. Okay. So these are main sysadmin because by default when you are creating when you are connecting your server, basically you are getting a SA user. SA stand for sysadmin. Okay. And sysadmin, you can say it's a super admin of your SQL instance. Okay. So basically two level of access you have. First, server level role and second, database role. So let's suppose if you want to provide like a DBA related information, let's suppose some bulk admin, or you can say sysadmin, setup admin, security admin, then you have to directly create a login and after that you can add a login, whatever server role they are expecting. But let's suppose if you want to add, we have a multiple database and one person want to access two database, one person want to demo database, some person want to MyDB or something. These are SQL database I'm saying. Okay. These are SQL
Okay.
database. So if you want to create any user and those want to access any specific database, so what you have to do, you have to create a login first and then you have to create a login in a specific database. Let's suppose I'm saying Kurtika should be access HR database. So what I have to do? First, I have to create a SQL login. Okay. Whatever I
Hmm.
explained initially, I will create a Kurtika login into the master database. And then I have to create a user into the HR. And after that, we have to map login with a user so that this login map with a Kurtika user and they can able to access a HR database. So what I have to do after that, let's suppose I'm saying Kurtika can write data into it. So I have to add database role, database role related like a DB reader, DB writer, DB creator, something. They have to create. They have to add a role. And let's suppose I want to say I have a employee table into the HR because HR database hold the implied information. So let's suppose I want to grant access to Kurtika and Kurtika can write a data into the employee table. And let's suppose I'm saying they can read a data from HR. So generally what you have to do. If you have to add any user and those user want to access for a specific database, you have to create a user into it. And you have to map whatever user you created into the SQL login. So let me start with a like a SSMS. Let me open SSMS first and then you can understand better. So this high level information I explained to you. If you have any query, if you can explain. Generally, what high level means you have to create a login first and those
Yes.
login created into the master database. Second, if you want to add a user and those user want to access a specific database. Let's suppose I'm saying for HR and demo database you want to access. So basically I have to create a two user in a both separate database. Demo I have to create one user like a Kurtika and again I have
Hmm.
to create a Kurtika user into the HR database and whatever permission they are looking for and you are looking for, I have to add a access. Let's suppose delete access, let's suppose insert access, let's suppose you want complete access like a DB owner. So basically I have to assign permission to user, not for a specific login. For a specific login, is like a login label, you can provide a server role. Database label, you have to provide a database role access. You got my point?
Yes.
Okay, let me start a SSMS. I already started. So I have a multiple three instance. I'm connecting with a SQL authentication. You know connection mechanism, you already know. Yeah.
Yes, window authentication, SQL authentication.
And another, it's a multi-factor authentication basically. So let's suppose
Um,
you have a, you can say Azure SQL instance, okay? Azure database you have,
okay.
and you have to connect
Hmm.
with some, you, whatever account you created your Azure portal access you created. Like let's suppose my ID is Rajesh Singh @gmail.com. So I subscribe Azure portal with a rajeshsingh.dba, okay? So basically I have to provide here whatever you can say my Active Directory, or you can say multi-factor authentication email ID basically. I'm going with this. So
Okay.
first we have to provide here, you can say Azure manage instance, virtual machine, you can say SQL instance or AMI or SQL database. You have to provide here. Okay. And then you can proceed for the in like a connection. So mainly three type of
Sir,
distinct.
what? Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
What is this encryption? Here is mandatory, optional. Uh,
Okay. So basically what happened? You can say when we are connecting, okay, so
hmm.
if we can go a state forward, let's suppose I'm saying I'm going to a state forward, it means we are not encrypting our data. Like when we are passing a parameter, I'm saying if I will go for the window authentication or SQL authentication, what we are doing,
Okay.
we are not passing our credential to another server. Let's suppose I have to connect a SQL Microsoft, you can say Azure SQL instance. So basically those passwords should be passed
Hmm.
while authenticating from the portals. Okay. So for this case,
Hmm.
basically I'm saying I'm trusted to connect this instance. So basically encryption, whatever data is going, it's converted into the, you can say just like a masking or non-masking, you know already. Like let's suppose some
Yes.
password I'm trying to enter. So when we
Hmm.
are passing a password, let me show you something so that you can understand better. I'm going to the SQL authentication. I'm passing some
Hmm.
SA ID and I'm placing some ID and password. Okay. So whatever
Hmm.
password you are saying, it's not a encrypted basically. It's showing a star, but inline, if you can go and check, it's a plain text, whatever password I entered here. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So let's suppose I'm saying here, my password is India. Okay. So whatever I'm
Hmm.
passing here, it's not a encrypted. If you are trying to paste here, it's not encrypted. It's a journal test. But when they are sending into the, you can say TCP IP label, transport label, they will
Hmm.
encrypt. So basically, we are enhancing our security while passing a credential detail to your SQL instance. Okay.
Okay. Yes, but what does that optional and mandatory difference
Yeah.
means?
Optional, basically, which case you can go for the optional. Let's suppose I'm connecting my local instance. Okay. So
Okay.
if I will go for the local, so I don't go for the, you can say, encryption, because I'm connecting it a local instance. It means we are not sending my credential on network level or network layer, TCP/IP level.
Okay.
You got my point? Let's suppose if you are accessing your local instance, so that case it's not required basically. But if you
Okay.
are trying to send your SQL instance hosted into the virtual machine, some cases EC2 instance, some cases different, you can say, network, your server is available. So when you are sending those password, they will encrypt first, because we need encryption so that we want to like a more secure your SQL instance. Otherwise, other people can, like a hacker came into the TCP/IP layer, and they will directly read your plain text password. So basically, if we
Okay.
want to encrypt it.
Yes. But what is this local instance and the server level? You said, no?
Yeah,
If in this,
okay. This instance, let me open my SQL Server services first. Okay.
hmm,
So if I can open these services, okay.
hmm,
Here is a SQL instance. Three instance I installed in my local laptop. Yeah. It's a
hmm,
default instance. It's a name instance 01. It's a name instance 02. So let's
okay.
suppose I'm whatever password I'm trying to pass, they will
Hmm,
not go with a network layer, TCP/IP label. Directly
okay.
it's authenticating in my services in same machine basically. If your SQL instance hosted into the another server, another systems, so basically you have go
Okay.
for the mandatory.
Okay. Sir, yes, on that day I got one ticket. In that means when we log in through SSMS,
Mhm.
we don't get that encryption option in that SSMS.
Yeah,
Directly
basic.
only we will log
Okay,
in.
let me explain. Basically, what happened in a new version 2000. Okay, let me open a SQL client. New latest, you can say, SSMS. Basically, they provided this technique. Initially, 2000, you can say 18 version,
Hmm,
SQL Server Client SSMS. Let me go with the SSMS client. SSMS client download. Okay.
hmm,
So currently latest, because I installed this SSMS newly. Previously it's not there. Okay. You can say it's a
okay.
20 0. Initially it's a 18, I
Hmm,
think so. Could you please check? Do
okay.
you have a SQL instance in your machine?
Uh, Currently I joined through phone, sir.
Oh my God. So basically, if your SSMS is a
Hmm,
18 version, something like a 18.6, 18, so you will not get
hmm.
this like a certificate or credential options.
Okay. Means
But let,
the sequel, huh.
yeah, tell me, go ahead.
Which update came in list after 18 on that
Yeah,
I
you
think
will
it
get
is
this.
asking.
Yes, you will get this information.
Yes, I got one ticket in that client was not able to log in to that server.
Okay.
Means he was selecting option mandatory, encryption option mandatory. So he was not able to log in. But when he selected the optional,
Hmm.
that time he was able to log in. And it was production server
Basic.
2022 version.
Okay, it means what has happened? They have a SSMS 20.02 or more than 20 client they
Huh,
install in his system. So basically they are
huh.
expecting. But when you are going to connect with a SSMS with a 18 version, okay, let's suppose you didn't install or upgraded your SSMS. Okay, so basically you
huh,
have a 18 version SSMS. So when you will be
hmm,
trying to connect your SSMS SQL instance, maybe it's a 2022, or you can say 19 or 17
hmm,
or 14, that
hmm.
will automatically by default they will pass optional. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
So it's a new update only. What I can do, let me check. I have uh, I basically last time I install the server for, you can say, mirroring configuration. Basically I installed 3 instances, and after that I upgraded also. So let me check, and I also joined the SQL admin because last time I also explained to you. So now I connected with the
okay,
SQL admin, and I saved my portal Azure portal password into the different account. Other what I can do, maybe tomorrow class I will try to create a one Azure managed instance, and after that I can show you how you can go for the encryption as strict or mandatory.
yes,
So tomorrow I will explain after building a SQL instance in a, you can say, virtual machine. I will explain to you.
okay,
So because now I have a local server, so it's optional. It's not required basically.
okay,
So I am going with a window authentication. Okay. And you
yes,
can see I'm connecting with a trust only. Yeah. I didn't go
yes,
with a mandatory. You can say optional.
hmm,
So basically what you have to do, you have to like suggest to your client and whatever SSMS user are there, they have to go with a
hmm,
mandatory. Otherwise, basically we are security breaching. Let's suppose I'm saying MySQL instance installed with a 1433 port. Okay, but
hmm,
this is not a good idea. We have to go with a, some custom port instead of default port. So those
okay.
part we have to suggest with a client, or you can say user, to
But that
max.
TCP,
Yeah,
yes,
tell me.
that TCP IP port was default only. Uh,
Yes, yeah,
Default
but you
port.
can change. But you can change on basis of your need because you want to enhance your security of SQL instance basically.
Okay,
So let me open those part also because I think I have a SQL. Let me set. Okay, if we need additional topic, we can go with a. I will schedule one call also because it's a 30-minute only. SQL
okay.
configuration manager. Let, which instance they connected? Okay. Oh, SQL admin. Okay. So let's suppose you want to change your port. So what you have to do? It's a straightforward only. So these are by default local services I install for the mirroring configuration.
Hmm.
These are SQL services and network services. So
Network.
basically, I have to go here instead of this network services.
Yes.
If you want to change a TCP/IP port for this one, because it's a disabled only, so by default it's going with a 1433. So here you can
Hmm.
change IP all, yeah, this one. If you can change and after restart your service, you'll get a reflected into your SQL instance. So generally you have to go with a like a any custom port instead of you can going with a default, because let's suppose I am a hacker, so I know ASA user is
Hmm.
automatically available, so it means I have to crack
Yes.
only password. I know SQL user, so for this case I know by default port is a 1433. So basically I don't
Hmm.
have to huddle to find out port because port is already available. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
this is a problem
So,
basically. Yeah,
okay.
tell me.
So what have I have to suggest to my team then now, that you client is now going with optional only.
Mhm.
So,
So basically you have to
so
like suggest for the enhance your security, because now we
hmm.
have a 1 year experience. So
Yes.
whatever you'll suggest, they will not accept. because those
Yes.
people like a 10 years or 15 years or 12 years experience more than you. So basically,
Yes.
why
Yes.
they are putting a optional? Because some people have a SSMS 18 or some people have, you can say 20. So they will
Mm.
create a, some conflict if I can enforce encryption logic basically.
Mm-hmm.
So let me start your login. So this is a SQL instance. I connect it to SQL 01. So basically here you can see logins are there. And here, if you can see, it's a server role are there. So these are
Yes.
server role. So let me create a one login. I'm creating. I'm going to the SQL authentication. And you know this is enforce password policy. You know this. What is mean?
No, sir. I.
So okay.
Mm.
So let's suppose I'm saying I'm going to enforce password policy. It means
Mm.
we have to enter whatever policy they set up for the like a complex password. They will not accept any continuous number like I'm saying 1 2 3 4 5. So
Okay.
some rule they created and they are saying like I'm saying I have to input only 5 letter or you can say two
Mm.
letters. So that will not accept. So basically they created some policy and those policies should be like if you can go with a enforce policy and if your password is not matching whatever policy SQL server have like a length of password character or you can say sequentially any number and they are expecting a you can say complex password so they will stop you. Second, you can say user must change the password next login. Let's suppose I created login for you. Okay. And if
Mm.
I can so like I said, like not going with the enforce policy, it means when you will try to log in, same password you have to try to access. But if I'm going with this, when you will try to connect with whatever password I will share to you. So this password is a temporary for you. And when you will try to log in, you can change your password. Okay. So
Okay.
this is a
Mm.
right practice while going for the like a creating a user. Whatever your favorite password as a DBFR like a password, I'm saying like a India at the rate 2024 or 25. So next
Mm.
time, maybe Kurtuka will try to log in. They will change whatever like a favorite password for her. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, these are you can say rule. Some enforce password expiration. It means on basis of like a whatever like a setting, they can go and your password will expire. So I'm not going with this. Directly, I'm
Mm.
creating a login. Nothing I'm doing, and I'm going to create. Okay. And you can
Mm.
also go and create whatever you want. I created Kurtika.
Yes.
But if you
Mm.
want to add some DBA rights, so here you can see server role are there. Starting from the bulk admin, going to sysadmin
Mm.
basically.
Mm.
So one by one, if I can explain, if you can, if you know bulk admin, basically bulk insert, bulk command are there. So let's suppose I have a user and those user can execute bulk command, heavy data load you can say. Okay.
Okay.
So if I have to create this type of login, you can go and create and add this permission to a specific login. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Let's suppose I'm creating one user and those user can create a database. So I have to go and create this. Okay. Next,
Mm.
disk admin basically. So whatever disk attached in your machine, okay, they will try to manage.
Okay.
Second, process admin basically. Last time I created one sheet. Okay, yeah, I explained to him because in a morning class I already explained. So
Okay.
process admin. Let's suppose some task is running, some session SQL process SPID is running, session is running. Okay.
Okay.
So let's suppose I want to add a access, they can kill your session. Okay. So if I have
Yes.
to check like they have a capability, they can log in with a Windows Server RDP, and after that they can, if any like a session is consuming a high memory and CPU, they can start killing those SPID. So you can add these process admin rights. Setup admin
mm,
basically, let's suppose one person is coming and they will work only for the link service created. Like let's suppose I have a source is a Oracle, some cases MySQL, some cases we have a different SQL server. Okay, and I have to
mm,
link and after that execute some query. So if any person is coming to maintain a link services, I have to add setup admin permission to them. Okay. So
mm.
generally you have to keep in your mind link services. Maybe you'll know link services. If you have a different SQL instance or if you have a different database and you want to connect directly from the SQL server, let's suppose I have a Oracle server and I want to
mm.
connect with a SQL and I have to make some join with a existing table. So basically you have to add setup admin rights. Bulk admin, I already said like a insert command, bulk operation basically. Disk admin, I already said disk managing a disk file. DB creator already explained. By default, they are providing, you can say, public basically. So let's try to check whatever permission you have. So I didn't do anything. So let me open. And now you can check what is a
Sir,
server.
public means they have right.
They have a connect
Pub.
right. They have a connect right, nothing else.
Oh, okay. Connect SQL.
Yes, maybe Oracle, if you know, just like a connect permission too. So if I can go, I didn't added any access. And if I want to go and connect with a your ID, so you can directly connect this. And but nothing is accessible. If you can go and check, nothing is accessible for you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So only connect permission like allocated to you. So it's a
Okay.
login. So you can go through one by one. Mainly as a DBA, what you have to do, add a set, you can say sysadmin access. Okay. So that they can
Yes.
perform all the activity,
Yes.
just like a SA. Okay. Let me go. So if I can suggest, like, let's suppose you want to write a query. So it's a very easy one-liner statement. You can write your query to creating any user. Create login name, Krutika. I'm going with a 01 with password. Okay. So directly
Mm,
enter whatever password you want and that will be create. Nothing to do. So it's a state. Okay. I think I connected with a URID and I'm creating a same password and you don't have access. So I have to connect with a syst admin. Okay. And now if you can
okay.
try, that should work. Okay.
Mm,
Same
yes.
process, what I did, the same process. I'm going to create one user and I want to add, you can say, read access to a specific. So I'm going with a command or do you want to go with a, you can say, GUID? Which one you want?
Both also
Okay.
uh,
So I'm going
go
to
with any.
create a, you can say, let's suppose I created whatever ID Kurtika 01. I want to add
Mm,
a reader access to a specific database. So what should be next step?
mm,
You have to expand your security. In
okay.
security, you have a
Mm,
user, right click, new user, and you
mm,
have to provide, I'm not saying like you can go and provide same login name, okay? But why I'm
mm,
providing so that you can correlate while checking your login and user detail. So I'm placing same name, same
okay.
login, and you have to select whatever login you created for this user. So we already
Mm,
created Kurtika 01,
mm,
okay? And default schema, if you not assign, automatically they will go with a DBO. So
mm,
DBO you can select or DBO you can type, whatever you want. Okay. So here is a multiple schema. And let's suppose I'm part of HR. So I have to assign with a HR default schema because if I will create any table, procedure or view, it's automatically created into the HR schema. If I am selecting a DBO, it means whatever table view they will create, by default they will create into the DBO. Okay. You got my point?
Hmm.
What is the
Hmm.
default schema? Let's suppose
Yes.
Kurtika connected with
Yes.
his credential, okay, and she want to create one table. So by default,
Hmm.
table created into the DBO. It means whatever table created, you have to write select a star from DBO dot whatever table name. Okay, and let's suppose I'm
Hmm.
saying I'm
Yes.
going with the HR only. I'm not going with the by default.
Hmm.
HR is there or not? Yeah, human resource. Yeah, I'm going to create. So by default, whatever table you will be creating, it's a part of human resource only. Let me show you. So it's a created your login, Kurtika, but no permission assigned to you. Okay, you can see nothing is checked here. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
going to
Yes.
add your writer. You can say some DDL I'm going to add or DB owner. Let me try to DB owner because I have to show what a default schema they are using. Okay, I'm creating with a DB owner. Means I'm getting like a providing a owner of this database. Kurtak is the owner of this database. And now
Hmm.
I already connected with my account. I think your account, no, different one. So I'm trying to connect with your account once again. Kritika 01. Same password I'm trying to enter. And if I will create any object, you can see I'm able to access now because I have a DB owner access. And I'm going to create one table, but I'm not mentioning any schema name. Create table. You know this command?
Yes.
TBL imply. Just for testing, I'm not going inside. Imply no int and ename worker. Okay. So I didn't mention any schema. By default, they will create into the. Let me show you. If I can filter out, you will get to know your this table created into the human resource. Let me search. You can find, you can see this table available into the human resource. Okay. So basically what
Hmm.
happened by default, I didn't mention anything. But if you want to create with a different schema, explicitly you can mention. I'm going with a 01. I'm creating here. Okay. And if you can
Okay.
refresh, you will get one table is a part of DBO and one part is a human resource.
Human resource.
Okay.
Okay. Sir, what is schema?
So a schema, just let me explain. A schema just like a class. You know, class. Basically, what happened?
Uh. Okay.
Let me explain some hierarchy. Let's suppose my father have a three kids. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
let's suppose I'm going to develop some ERP package. So one developer is working for the sales department, one working for the application HR department, one for the production department. So all are working separately. So basically I suggested create a schema in all table, all procedure, all view you have to create into it. You got my point?
Yes.
So it's not conflict because you can see I created a table into this schema and I can also create into the different schema. They will not stop me.
Okay.
Okay. So for the ERP system or ERP like a package development, we are separating, we are our entity into the multiple groups basically.
Okay.
So a schema, if I can explain into the Oracle term, in a Oracle, they are saying it's a database only. But here is a different case. Oracle schema name is a database, but here a schema just like a class. I created one class and class have a multiple function method or multiple student. Yeah,
Okay.
these are separation of you can say groups generally.
Hmm. Okay.
If you want more information, I will explain to them. But I created it's a DB owner and I want
Hmm.
to create whatever account I created, a Kurtika one account, and I want to read only access to you. And I'm going to add with a command only. Okay. So let me
Hmm.
go with a DW light database, and I want to create one user, and I want to map with a whatever Kurtika account I created, this one.
Okay.
Okay. So let me
Hmm.
go with a command. Create user basically, because I already selected my database. First, you have to select which database you want to create your user. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
User, and I want to go with the same name, whatever login name with, okay, for login, which what login? This login. Okay. And if I can create, it's automatically created. Now I want to add, you can say read only access. So here you can say I have a one store procedure, sp underscore add role member. Okay. And whatever
Hmm.
permission you are looking for, you have to find out your permission. If I'm saying like it's a DB owner,
Hmm.
same permission, like a same like a DB data reader I want. So you have to write DB underscore data
Hmm.
reader. Just I'm checking. And then whatever user I created, I have to mention here. Okay. I added already. So if I will connect with this account, you will get,
Hmm.
our meeting will finish in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Let me try to connect. And I will
Okay.
ping you whatever like a new URL so that you can join if anything is missing. Okay, I
Yes, sir.
connected and you can see I added this account into the LT. Okay, let me try with the LT and different account is not working. Okay, you can see here. So let me select
Hmm.
and only you can select the data. Let's suppose I want to delete this. I want to select. So that should work because I added a reader access. But if I want
Hmm.
to edit, you can say, and I'm editing something. Let me check what is happening. Yeah, insert was permission deny. Okay. So basically insert is
Hmm.
not working. Are you able to see? Insert permission was deny.
Yes.
So basically I
Yes.
added only, you can say, is create reader access. So if you want anything, whatever like I open here a screenshot, simply you have to pass whatever permission you want. Okay.
Yes.
Replace.
Yes.
So let me set up one call for 10-20 minutes and after that we can bind up. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.